Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, depending on where you're at. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Have a safe and healthy New Year and a wonderful and productive and healthy and happy 2019, if you can believe that. 2019. And I am proud to say tomorrow I will tell off a bunch of people on Twitter and I will deactivate my Twitter. I have a Gab, I'll deactivate that. I have a Minds, I'll deactivate that. The only thing I'll keep is my BitChute, in addition to this channel and my Second Amendment channel and my, obviously, I'll set up an email address, but DM me if you're following me, your email address, and I'll keep you updated. You'll get a newsletter. And I am trying to get off the grid, so to speak. One thing I learned, and honestly, this guy who is obsessed with me, this writer who wrote like 8 hit pieces on me, in the last hit piece, I told him off, and of course, I was suspended. And so Twitter suspended me, and I was so upset. I said to myself, why do I need this? Why do I need this? Why do I need this dumb thing? It doesn't help my writing, my books. People are still buying my books because, I put them on my YouTube channel. I let them know, people know. But Amazon, they're still doing well. Twitter doesn't help me. I haven't even advertised my book. I haven't even sent people, messages or tweeted out links to my books in months. More than like 6-7 months, and people are still buying them. So Twitter has no bearing. Like when people share videos, it's great, but at the same time, Twitter doesn't, won't make a video go viral or get to 10,000 views or whatever, or 20,000 or 30,000 views. It won't. So what I found out before we get to the Clinton special counsel, hopefully in 2019, is that I've learned this year that social media is an addictive, unhealthy, negative force in people's lives. And it's pure negativity. Every so often, you'll get some positive interactions. Every so often, the main thing with Facebook is that you can reconnect with people you haven't seen in years. Other than that, it's 80%, 70, especially in my world, it's 70 to 80% negative. So why do I need that in my life? If people are going to write hit pieces on me or whatever, they're going to do so with me on Twitter or not on Twitter. But I have enough of a presence to where if people want to share my work on Twitter, I would love them to do so. It's their right. Or Facebook or any other medium. But I just found that it's better for me not to be around really negative people. It's a waste of time. And the Democratic primary is what? The beginning of next year. All throughout this year will be like, the pre-party, the pre-negativity Olympics, where, people are just going to attack one another left and right. And I don't need to be a part of that. So, and you can pretty much get everything there is on Twitter by just going on. You don't even have to log in. You just go in, search a hashtag, put in hashtag Elizabeth Warren. You get like a whole bunch of people, famous, not so famous, who are, giving their thoughts on Elizabeth Warren. But it's with anything. You could read Trump's tweets without, without Twitter. So absolutely cut out the negativity for a new year. And so I just think, ladies and gentlemen, that this year, I urge people, especially if they're on the left watching this channel, and even my fellow Trump supporters, seriously consider, and I'm not telling you what to do, but consider just deactivating your Facebook account, Twitter account, Instagram, whatever. Because you don't, I've realized something. Real life, real people, are a lot happier, are a lot more positive, a lot brighter. Most people, white, black, Latino, Jewish, Asian, Muslim, gay, straight, you know, I know transgender people. Most people don't have chips on their shoulder. Most people aren't angry. They're not. I'm not saying that most people don't have problems, but their problems aren't manifested in public life. You know those viral videos you see? They're viral for a reason because it's so out of the norm. Now, granted, the vape guy meltdown, that might be like the norm. Okay, so people are probably more often than not. Thank you, Ramla Farah. Thank you. You have a fantastic, happy New Year, healthy, productive 2019. Thank you so very much. And Ramla, I feel great not having checked Twitter. I'm just gonna go on tomorrow and tell off a whole bunch of people, and then like a couple hours later delete the message. So you're free to take screenshots and everything. Vaporham Lincoln, that's right, Owen. But this 2019, there has to be a special counsel. This is the problem. Like, there is no, not to offend anyone, and this is not being negative, just, this is not to offend anyone, but there are no secret agents, intelligence officers speaking to anyone through 8chan. This is people who enjoy riddles, and they enjoy, they think that, like Jordan Sather stated, he's not certain. He doesn't want to say he's certain. They're not certain of anything. It's just a myth. And it's through 8chan. Nothing good comes through 8chan. Trusting Sessions is the worst thing you could do, and Q said to trust Sessions like 10 times. Huber is like actually didn't even listen to whistleblowers. So there you go. But if you look at exactly Joe DeGenova, special counsel, exactly. If you look at what Trump's DOJ needs to do, they need to, and this is the Republican Party now. We're talking the Republican Party. If Republicans want to continue to reshape this country, especially in terms of the Supreme Court, especially in terms of lower courts, federal courts, district courts. Yeah, but not everything. And when someone says you're sounding like MSM, if MSM says it's gonna, something happened. It's the spin that's not right most of the time, but sometimes they're right. Sometimes when you see like the Haley Bop comet people, they're not right in the head. Every once in a while the MSM gets it right. So, but the MSM is laughing at Q. Don't want to be negative, but it's the truth. Go to the Jim Jeffries Comedy Central. One guy is like, yeah, JFK Jr. still alive. Even Jordan Sather was laughing at that. So, I'm trying to win here. If you want to win, you got to push President Trump. There has to be a push. Even Sebastian Gorka is like, yeah, it's nothing but snake oil. I mean, it's not. This is the problem. People were too complacent. President Trump needs to know. Like, for example, Ann Coulter did a good thing. She said, look, if you don't get a border wall, you're going to lose in 2020. He got the message. Caught in a mosh. Very cool. I'm going to deactivate tomorrow. I think that's when my tomorrow or Wednesday. I think that's when my suspension is done. Why talk about Q then? To let people know they shouldn't believe any of it nonsense. It's complete disinformation. That's why when they get everything wrong, they're like, disinformation is needed. Trust me, Clinton, nobody on the left cares. They're not like, oh my God, what happened to the next Q post? And the fact that so many people were okay with Sessions, the point being that Sessions did not impanel a special counsel or create a special counsel. We needed that. We needed a special counsel. Press 1 if you want a special counsel this year to investigate Uranium One, the Clinton Foundation, the transfer of top secret intelligence outside of the United States government onto a server in Clinton's basement that was hacked by the planet. Press 1 if you want that. There you go. So yeah, I mean, the letter that Gowdy and Goodlatte, the letter that they I'll read you the letter. So all you've heard is like, oh yeah, they end their investigations and it's unceremonious, and no, well, but see, of course, the letter says, this is the last paragraph. Our belief remains a special counsel should be appointed to investigate not only the decisions made and not made during the presidency, during the pendency of these investigations, but also the disparate way these two investigations were seemingly conducted. Of course, they're talking about mid-year exam and Operation Crossfire. They're talking about the Clinton email probe, and they're talking about the Russia investigation. What a stupid thing to believe. What a dumb thing to believe that Russia influenced the election. She outspent Trump 2-1. And this is the look, he's going to go up against any opponent's going to be absolutely decimated after. I believe he'll win. But it's a matter of winning by a large margin or barely winning. And I think that he'll barely win if he doesn't flip the script. He could possibly lose, but I do think he'll win. He needs to flip the script. The Trump DOJ needs to create a special counsel. And Trump had every right to fire James Comey. Now, that didn't warrant a special counsel. He had a right. You know what warrants a special counsel? Peter Strzok's text messages. Peter Strzok's text messages warranted a special counsel. Peter Strzok's text message stating, we will stop Trump, that was an insurance policy. What is he talking about? And why didn't Strzok, McCabe, Comey, why didn't any of them ask how Clinton transferred top secret intelligence? How? We don't know. We do not know how she did that. By messenger pigeon? How did information on an intranet, a top secret intranet, get out of the intranet onto a server outside of the United States government? Now I keep on doing this, and people are probably like, oh, yeah, whatever. But John Anthony Walker, this is just one Cold War spy. In addition to the 3 Cold War spies who probably gave the most secrets to the Soviets were Robert Hanssen, Aldrich Ames, Robert Hanssen of the FBI, Aldrich Ames of the CIA, and John Anthony Walker of the Navy. I'll just read you this. The Navy, in which John Walker served for 20 years, was enormously damaged by his espionage. Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger concluded that the Soviet Union made significant gains in naval warfare that were attributed to Walker's spying. He had a spy ring for 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. His espionage provided Moscow access to weapons and senior data and naval tactics. Surface, submarine, and airborne training, readiness, and tactics. You control the seas, you control the world. And during the Cold War, there was a battle for supremacy in the air, in the oceans, on land. And the American Navy is what is really one of the reasons we're the most powerful country in the world. We have 11 aircraft carriers. I think what Russia has like 2, everyone else has 1. Maybe China, I think, has 2. I think Italy also has 2. But a quarter century after John Walker's arrest, it is illuminating to revisit the story of his naval spy ring. He even recruited family members. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? Because if he had a server, a secret server, and this was, a time period where, he had email, he could have simply sent all information through the server and nobody would have known, and it would have been legal. That's the problem. That's the problem. Many observers believe the Walker spy ring. This is the U.S. This is usni.org. Many observers believe that Walker spy ring created the most damaging security breach of the Cold War. Well, you know what beat that? What's a bigger security breach? Clinton's email server. Well, there's no evidence to say that it was hacked. Yes, there is. And furthermore, where is the suspicion? They are obsessing over dirt on Hillary, quote unquote dirt, which is not a crime. It is not a crime to obtain dirt on Hillary. It is actually, a healthy, good, wonderful thing to find out what criminals are doing. They obsess over issues that are not national security issues. To my super chat, thank you so very much. But I'll read you, what if this guy had a server like Clinton? Director of Naval Intelligence Rear Admiral William O. Studman declared that no sentence a court could impose would atone for its unprecedented damage and treachery. Secretary of the Navy John H. Lehman tried to overturn John Walker's plea agreement, but was restrained by... Walker and his colleagues compromised a huge array of secrets. Jonathan Pollard, another naval spy, apprehended in 1985, the year of the spy, gave Israel a greater quantity of documents, estimated at 1.2 million, but the Walker material with its cryptographic secrets has to be judged as the worst loss. Soviet spy chief Boris Solomatin offered a more nuanced perspective, refusing to compare Walker's case with that of former counterintelligence officer, CIA counterintelligence officer Aldrich Ames, another high-profile spy for the Soviet Union. He observed that agents must be judged by the content of the information they deliver. Ames provided the names of Russians spying for the U.S. and thus affected the KGB-CIA espionage war. Ames's information would have been used to identify traitors, he said. This is a one-time event. But Walker's information not only provided us ongoing intelligence, but helped us over time to understand and study how your military actually thinks. John Walker had been the Soviets' key source on Navy submarine missile forces, which the Soviet spy chief viewed as the main component of the American nuclear triad. The KGB spy master also noted that Walker helped both superpowers avoid nuclear war by this is interesting, by enabling Moscow to appreciate true U.S. attentions, a goal that America articulated as one of his aims. That's interesting. That's interesting in a roundabout way. in a roundabout way, you're talking about he gave so much information to the Soviets. The Soviets are like, oh, okay, maybe we can rest a little bit because they're not as dangerous as we thought, which is hilarious. But my point, though, is what if Aldrich Ames of the CIA, Robert Hansen of the FBI, John Anthony Walker of the Navy, what if they had a private server like Hillary Clinton? That is the issue. This is such an easy thing to comprehend. And the fact that there wasn't a special counsel, they have weaponized the full weight and force of the United States government against something that never took place. Trump never worked with Russia to buy Facebook ads. Most of the Facebook ads were seen after the election. $47,000 of Facebook ads. $47,000 were spent prior to the election. So it's like the company said it sold $100,000 worth of ads, and only 47% were seen prior. And the Facebook ads, and then this one business, if I can reach 19,000 users for $140 per day, then I can reach all of 6.4 million daily active users who are conservative men in swing states. Well, why would they vote for Hillary? And the ads, even if they were effective, only bolstered existing biases and viewpoints. The Russian Facebook company also paid for Black Lives Matter and progressive organizations as well. Those ads, not the organizations, but the ads for those. Or like pretended they were these organizations or new organizations. So, I mean, the sentiments, the desires of Americans were already there. What Democrats are trying to do, what they've tried to do is simply say, you see, those desires you had were not real. They correlated to what the Russians wanted. In fact, the Russians even cultivated it, which is stupid. With approximately $47,000, the targeting below, right here in the Business Insider, $47,000. And then the whole, I can reach 6.4 million daily active users. Just because Facebook is stupid, what they do is they say, oh, well, this ad will reach millions of users. No, it won't. No, it won't. It's all about engagement. Just because it pops up on your screen. I mean, how many ads or how many things do you see that you just don't click on? You don't click on that. You don't click on an ad. It just, scrolls up your screen. Oh, they count that as the millions of people. 3,000 ads, all ridiculous ads. Buff Bernie coloring books. Not one person was influenced, and we don't even have evidence of how many people were influenced. So they've created a special counsel with Mueller based on Comey's memos, which is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And then Twitter Twitter sold more than $274,000 to RT. So what? What about the $1 million spent by Correct the Record? What about the 2-to-1 spending? I mean, that's the issue here, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton, 2-to-1. Facebook told Congress it sold 100,000 worth of ads to the Russian firm. And you have ads that simply regurgitate or bolster existing viewpoints. And now we have over 24 former campaign workers for Bernie Sanders write letters describing dangerous culture of sexual violence in 2016. There you go. There you go. Bernie alumni seek meeting to address sexual violence on 16. So there you go. That's pretty much the end of the whole thing. More than 24 women who worked on Bernie Sanders political to discuss the issue of and harassment. Well, then, toxic masculinity. The signs are looking to change what they call a pervasive culture of toxic masculinity. Well, I don't even know what this means. Sexual violence? Did God forbid somebody get assaulted? I don't know what it means. Let's read the letter. To whom it may concern, this is regarding what they're saying about Bernie Sanders. There has always been a unique camaraderie in being a member of Bernie's 2016 staff. Our underdog campaign captured the power of our progressive values and transformed the lives of millions of voters who saw hope and promise in our work. We, the people who work on Bernie 2016, know how much the success of our campaign was due to the intense commitment, passion, and sacrifice of women, people of color, and LGBT staffers. In recent weeks, there has been an ongoing conversation on social media, in text, and in person about the untenable and dangerous dynamic that developed during our campaign. We, the undersigned, request a meeting with Senator Sanders and his leadership team to discuss the issue of sexual violence and harassment in the 2016 for the purpose of planning to mitigate the issues in the upcoming presidential cycle. Well, actually, you know what? This seems to be an issue that needs to be addressed. So I don't want to denigrate this. Maybe he presided over a campaign that was not healthy. I don't know. I just wrote viral articles that nobody, I guess nowadays care about on the left. But my articles went viral. Almost certainly a great number of these people have read my work, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to. Generally, I look at these types of things with suspicion, but maybe it's true. Maybe, it wasn't as magical as people thought it was. Both in the primary and presidential election campaigns for 2019, 2020, we request the meeting to be in person and with an unrecorded CC line in case there are those who cannot attend physically and would like to call in. The undersigned will set the agenda for the meeting with goals to achieve a productive statement on harassment in the campaign environment from Bernie Sanders and Jeff Weaver. Wow. A follow-up plan for the implementing concrete sexual harassment policies and procedures, and a commitment to bring diverse leadership to preempt the possibility of replicating the predatory culture from the first presidential campaign. Jeez. And it is critically important that Senator Sanders attend this meeting to understand the full scope of the issue of 2016 and how the campaign plans to move forward. I would not doubt that it is even worse with Beto O'Rourke. I don't know, but I can tell you that, I would be very shocked if Beto O'Rourke's campaign was just smooth and we request Jeff Weaver, okay, gold standard harassment policy. Well, sexual violence. See, I don't understand though. They're using the word violence. Did somebody get attacked or assaulted? Thank you for your consideration. We look forward to hearing back and planning. So generally, the letter seems above board, but I don't know. Is it violence or is it just the whole concept of toxic masculinity? I don't know. But Drake. Amy, I agree. So it's like, ladies and gentlemen, It's just now look, the 2016. So I don't know what to make of this because they use the word violence. I have no clue. Was somebody assaulted or I don't know. I have no idea. But there obviously was a culture where progressives were not happy. That Bernie Sanders, what he did is he should have simply, if you wanted to fight, he should have fought, and I still would have been with him. And thank God he didn't, because now I'm a Trump supporter and I don't have to deal with that insanity on the left. I'm deactivating my Facebook. I deactivated my Facebook. I'm deactivating my Twitter. It's complete rubbish. All the pontificating and the condemning and, oh, I'm so morally superior, yet everyone gets funneled back to Hillary Clinton. The envelope at the thing had nothing. The envelope at Bush's, oh Lord, hopefully the Q people aren't. The envelope at Bush's funeral was very likely had to do with the funeral. That's it. Very likely. Nagin 4AG, I agree. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting. Most of the ads were seen after the election, and the Facebook CEO, this Facebook VP of advertising, stated that it was to cause division. It wasn't to help anyone. Aimed at dividing. This is the Facebook CEO. The majority of the Russian ads were spent after the election. So there you go. We shared that fact, but few outlets have covered it because it doesn't align with the main narrative of Trump and the election. There you go. So the Facebook CEO and the Facebook advertising VP, then he got heat for this. The main goal of Russian propaganda and misinformation was to divide Americans using our institutions like free speech. We were already divided. We were already divided. We were already divided. And, you know, it's like, we were already divided as a nation. And, you know, it's such a simple it's such a simple propaganda tool. Well, you didn't mean to vote for Trump. You know, if you had voted for, if you knew what was really happening, you wouldn't have voted for Trump. The whole thing is that, you really wanted to vote for Hillary, but all that disinformation. The majority of the ads were seen after the election, and they weren't even meant to help Hillary. They weren't even meant to help Hillary. The main goal of the Russian propaganda and misinformation effort to divide America using our institutions like free. Well, we were already divided. So that's stupid. You can't blame another country for the division that existed before the election. Before the election, people were being attacked and insulted and everything. But ay, ay, ay. But ladies and gentlemen, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. I'll probably call it short because people are doing a lot of things today. They might not be on YouTube. And stay safe, everyone. 2019, there needs to be a special counsel. There needs to be a special counsel. You should not trust any preordained plan because Sessions totally backstabbed and betrayed Trump. You need to want and push for a special counsel. And if that happens, my God. And at the end of the day, Clinton will be indicted eventually because she's committed too many crimes. Let people know about this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and God bless. Stay safe tonight. And thank you so very much for your support. Thank you, everyone.